Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. You know, tourism is at an all time record low in the US, and it's because many of these foreigners have been watching the ICE raids on the internet. You know, they're fully aware of ICE and how ICE is handling the citizens here and everything. And many of them don't want to come. Well, now that Donald Trump started this war, they are canceling flights and canceling tickets for the World Cup. I don't even know why did they let the US host the World Cup? Who came up with this idea? Well, it's supposed to be here in my state in New Jersey. And a lot of people are now saying they're not coming. So it's probably going to be a record low amount of people coming this year to the World Cup, you know? And thanks to Donald Trump in this war, he just made the situation worse. It was bad enough when they saw the ICE raids. Now that he invaded and bombed Iran, they really don't want to come. So this is another opportunity the US could have made billions of dollars on tourism and people coming here for the World Cup, and they ain't gonna make hardly nothing now. So, once again, the US missing a great opportunity, but because of your world leaders, Donald Trump, folks don't want to come. So I have a feeling this is not going to be what you think. And then the next big event is the 250-year anniversary of America, which is in DC on the 4th of July. I have a feeling it's not going to be a lot of people there, y'all. It's not going to, a lot of people are going to just skip out on that. If they are going to celebrate it, they'll probably celebrate it at home around friends and family. We don't have no reason to celebrate because 250 years ago, our forefathers were still all engulfed in chattel slavery. So I don't know why I would celebrate that. I'm not celebrating it. So there you go. But yeah, so don't expect a good World Cup, y'all. And America, you thought you were broke. Can you imagine what gas is going to be like by then? It'll probably be $7 a gallon here in my state, 7 or 8 at the rate it's going. So let me share my screen because a lot of people are talking about this upcoming World Cup. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right.
Result of Donald Trump's on again, off again, on again trade war. And they're suffering as their stocks continue to fall. Monday, of course, was another bad day at the stock market, opening up 500 points down. And yes, all of this is 100% because of Donald Trump and his policies and his decisions. And now these same American corporations are about to take another hit as massive boycotts begin for American products in Europe. Sweden is, of course, leading the charge here. And there are hundreds of thousands of Swedes that have joined into Facebook groups pledging to boycott all U.S. goods, or to the degree that they can. The boycott is specifically calling for boycotts of Tesla, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Nike, and Levi's. It's also urging people to stop using American services like Netflix, Google, and Airbnb. Now, one of the founders of the Swedish boycott said this: "When I can't vote in the U.S. elections or demonstrate on the streets in the United States, I feel that I have to do..."
Just like a serious question, but how is America still allowed to host the World Cup? Like how? How many countries have they bombed in the last year? How many genocides have they actively been complicit in? They've got a fascist dictator in power And now you've got ICE agents shooting their own citizens. I know I've mentioned this already in my last video, but I seriously think the public is not reacting enough to this. People are not angry enough. I seriously do not know how America is still allowed to host the World Cup. They should be banned. It should just be Mexico and Canada. And if anyone is going to America for the World Cup, this is the part I repeated in my last video, and I'm going to repeat it again. Do not go, especially those who live in Europe, and not even just Europe, anywhere that's outside of America. Do not fucking go. And if you have tickets, and if you have booked to go, cancel it immediately. Do not give them any more money.
Did you know that we are being boycotted by the entire world for tourism? We lost approximately $21 billion just in 2025 in tourism. Now I want you to multiply that by 4. Let me put some perspective on that. Our largest group of visitors are Canadians. They spend $20 billion every single year. And what that does for the U.S. economy is it creates about 150,000 jobs. 150,000 jobs. Let me give you some perspective. In 2025, Trump only created 550,000 jobs. You can see where that 150 would be very important, right? Well, in 2024, Biden created 2.1 million. So we need jobs in the US that we're not going to have because of Canadians, other countries boycotting us, and Trump. That 150,000 jobs, also, the rest of the economy was stimulated by hundreds of thousands of jobs more, specifically Las Vegas. Their number one industry is tourism. If you do not think that a tourism boycott is going to be catastrophic to the USA, you are not paying attention. Have you canceled your trip here? Many are saying the World Cup is going to be an absolute disaster. That would have brought us extra revenue, which would have attributed to extra jobs. We are desperate for job creation in this country, and it's not going to happen. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. Drop a comment and follow for more.
So a warning has been let out by national humanitarian organizations, letting people know that if you're planning on coming from overseas to the United States of America for the World Cup this summer, it is highly not recommended. Yes, and they're saying that not only could you be possibly detained by immigration at the airport, but you could also be picked up while you're here and have a very bad time, considering you might not be let go right away and deported, as we have seen where people have been detained and are sitting here 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line when they're voluntarily willing to leave, want to go back to their countries, and the United States is the one putting a halt and keeping them here in these inhumane conditions. So this is just a warning. This is pretty much just like, I'm going to give you guys some advice. And this is to all my international friends, people from all over the world that follow me. Please, guys, please. If you're thinking, or you know anyone, you, your loved ones, are thinking of flying down here to watch the World Cup, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Your safety and your life mean more than coming to watch a World Cup. So that's just my recommendation. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. Please share the video so everyone's aware, and hopefully it can get out to everyone in the world so they don't come here for the World Cup. Really sad and heartbreaking to see that such a spectacular event is pretty much going to be non-existent, at least here in the United States, with fans and stuff, because of the unfortunate shit show situation that we have in the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump and the shit-ass administration. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments. Share the video. I love you guys. Please be safe out there.
The next World Cup's being held in America, and nobody's making any noise about human rights when it comes to America holding the World Cup. And when you look at America's recent history, they've destroyed Iraq, destroyed Libya, If you're going to talk about human rights, you've got to start with the top and work it down. You can't just say.
Are you one of these people who says that if you start questioning host countries on their human rights records, the World Cup can only be held in somewhere like Sweden?
No, not at all. I'm someone that says if you want to talk about human rights, you've got to be consistent about it. Okay. You can't just point at Arabs and Africans and say, oh, your human rights are terrible, without having a look at ourselves and what we've been complicit in. That would be utter hypocrisy and, in fact, race.
In Netherlands, a DJ radio, a popular DJ radio, put out a request to the people to sign a petition to stop the national team, La Naranja Mecánica, if you know what that means, from attending the U.S. World Cup because of the actions of another orange thing over there. So far, the petition has over 150,000 signatures. And if you don't know what this means, to get a person from Netherlands to tell their team to not attend a World Cup is fucking unprecedented. Is not even anything comparable to any sport in the US, because the beautiful sport is more than a sport. It's part of your culture. It's part of everything you do, you think, and you breathe. And even with that influence, the people of Netherlands are signing the petition right fucking now to stop their team from going to the US and play because of the actions of the rotten orange guy. That is a boycott against FIFA. And I'm going to have people jump, hey, it doesn't matter, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But to get La Naranja Mecánica to even consider, their fans, to even consider not going to the World Cup is beyond anything I could possibly imagine. They say they're okay with playing in Canada and Mexico. I wonder why. But not in the US. I'm Alex, in my rant, and I'm out.
So I've canceled my next trip to the United States. I was meant to be going there in later April. I was looking forward to it as well, like going to Boston, New England, beautiful places, lovely people. In fact, I even have both friends and actually some relatives in Maine, but I've canceled it because ICE, or whatever the hell it is detaining people. I mean, they detained a young Canadian for 10 days. They apparently arrested a bunch of Germans recently. They're going through people's phones. Like, this is meant to be, the United States is meant to be the beacon of democracy and freedom and so forth. Well, it is anything but. This is what fascism actually looks like. It is awful in North Korea, and it is awful in Saudi Arabia, and it is awful in Iran. So we can all be honest about that. But when that sort of thing settles in to what we consider to be the free world, that is the erosion of any value that we actually stand for. So I bring business to the United States, right? I run tours. Well, I'm not going to now. It's shocking, but I woke up 3 days in a row worrying about flying down there. And then I talked to someone I know kind of on the inside who said, don't fly in if you're not an American citizen. Like, this is how terrible it is at the moment. So it's sad and it's shocking, but hey, I'm off to Europe in a few days. I can fly down to South America, a lot of beautiful places. And American friends are welcome up here. Absolutely. But if you're going to come up and wave a Trump flag, then,
Just in case no one's told you today, it is literally now or never, by the way. The United Kingdom have now officially warned their citizens, have warned us to not travel to the United States, and if we do, to be prepared of the heightened risk posed by the border and the new Trump administration. Historically, this has never been done by the United Kingdom or the United States, besides literally during 9/11 and the previous world wars. This is, of course, days after British, German, and other European tourists have also been detained for days, weeks at a time at the border. This is, of course, weeks after Trump has basically appeased Putin and has agreed to be a bystander to the invasion of Ukraine and practically any other European country that Putin has his eyes set on. I absolutely hate saying this as your friend from across the pond, but there's going to be a point where we are not going to have any international influence to help you guys, because Trump is literally making that quite literally impossible. He's isolating America. How does nobody see that? To the extent that they will confiscate your phone at the border, and if you have anything that is negative towards Trump, they will literally ban you from the USA. So if you're an American watching, you really have to have the fight in your belly right now, because it is truly now or never. I literally cannot say that any louder.
So at this point, people are deciding not to come to America again, and MAGA supporters are not happy about it. They are angry with everybody who is deciding not to come to America. Imagine, okay, you guys.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup is just months away, but instead of excitement, anticipation, and celebration, the build-up is being dominated by backlash, fear, and controversy.
The administration's crackdown is sparking criticism overseas. The former FIFA president is calling for soccer fans to boycott the World Cup in the U.S.
2026 FIFA World Cup, a historic expanded global event, is already getting overshadowed by politics because days before the official World Cup draw,
a tournament designed to unite continents is now sitting at the center of a global argument that stretches far beyond the field. 2026 FIFA World Cup was meant to be the largest and most commercially powerful World Cup ever staged, shared by 3 nations and backed by billions in projected revenue. Yet instead of a steady build toward celebration, social feeds across Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia are filling with a different message as fans post screenshots of canceled flight bookings, refunded hotel reservations, and statements declaring they will not travel to the United States for matches. The question hanging in the air is how a sporting event built on unity reached a moment like this. The scale of the 2026 tournament was supposed to speak for itself. For the first time in history, the World Cup will be hosted jointly by 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, with an expanded format featuring 48 national teams and a record number of matches spread across North America. Organizers projected enormous economic impact, with estimates suggesting roughly $5 billion could flow into the U.S. economy alone through tourism, hospitality, transportation, and retail. Cities such as Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, Los Angeles, New York, and others have been preparing for years, investing in infrastructure upgrades, stadium renovations, transit planning, and large-scale security operations designed to accommodate millions of international visitors. The event was framed as a defining moment for American soccer and a powerful demonstration of international cooperation. Instead of a smooth countdown, the conversation shifted as concerns about U.S. immigration policy intensified online. Over the past several years, visa requirements have become more demanding for many travelers, with longer processing times, stricter documentation standards, and higher rejection rates for certain regions. For supporters hoping to attend matches, the process itself has begun to feel uncertain. Fans from Nigeria have described visa applications denied without detailed explanation. Families in Pakistan have posted about anxiety over minor clerical errors that could derail months of planning. Travelers from parts of the Middle East and Africa have expressed fears of prolonged questioning at airports or secondary inspections that leave them feeling targeted before the tournament even begins. Not every story circulating
Y'all, the reason why I wanted to show this to you is to show you this is the beginning. America is going to be shunned as a nation, and it's already happening. There's a lot of people that are openly letting you know they don't agree with America in this war. And it's going to get to the point where, because I saw a story, and I believe it came out in the Wall Street Journal, and it was talking about Americans taking precautions leaving the country because you may not be safe anymore traveling the world. So that being said, y'all, it's already happening. There's people posting videos, they're going abroad, and people are now not embracing Americans anymore. And one woman was crying because they gave her heavy backlash in Scotland. And now they're starting to ask Americans, when you travel outside the country, who did you vote for? Boy, you better not say Donald Trump. Oh boy, you better not say Donald Trump. You may have a problem on your hands. So, yeah, so there's people that are afraid of ICE, and you know they're going to have ICE up at the World Cup. They're going to have them there. All those foreigners, that's an opportunity for them. So, ICE will be up at the stadium where the World Cup, I believe, is going to be in Secaucus, New Jersey. And y'all, I'm just telling you, they don't want to come. I have a feeling it's probably going to be a record low turnout for the World Cup. It's going to be record low. And the World Cup is a big deal. You know, I know that over here we don't see soccer in the same way, but over in Europe, it's huge. And, you know, I think another reason they're going to probably use is Israeli team will be there, and they will. You know, Israel team will be here to play when the World Cup goes on, and that's going to be another reason why some people are going to cancel because of the war and everything. They're going to use that as a reason as well. So this is just, man, this is the beginning, y'all. This is the beginning. It is going to get far worse from here. It is. Tourism this summer will practically be non-existent. See, it was already declining before the war. It had plummeted after Donald Trump sent all those tariffs out everywhere. It plummeted that first year he was in office. Can you imagine what it's going to be like this year with that war going on? I'm telling you, tourism will probably be non-existent. Nobody wants to come here anymore. And I don't think that's going to change, y'all. And America is falling from her grace. She's falling. And as long as Donald Trump is there, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. So I don't know what America's going to do. This was supposed to be like when you have things like the World Cup or the Olympics, that's supposed to be a time where the country rake in all kinds of revenue from the hotel industry, the food industry, souvenirs. I mean, everything, clothing, everything that people come and grab up while they're here, they make a lot of money. But it don't look like the vendors are going to be making a lot of money this year off of the World Cup. You know, and then you got entertainment and people pay for the entertainment. I mean, wow. Wow, America. Boy, I tell you what, when Donald Trump first took office, I sure didn't foresee all this coming. But here we are. We are here. And if America don't make any money, that falls on us, the consumer. That means that's going to be another reason to raise prices up on everybody because of all the lost revenue that's going to be happening this year. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. For a while, I don't know if anybody else was having problems on YouTube. I had problem accessing certain things, but it seems to be okay now, but I was struggling there for a moment. What we're going to be looking at 5:45 is the No Kings March that took place on Saturday. They said it was a record-breaking number. They're estimating 9 million people nationwide, and over 3,000 different locations marched. So we will take a look at the highlights of that at 5:45. So I will see you then. Shalom, family.